life. Motivation, discipline, and willpower. And the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to motivation, willpower, and discipline is number one, people think that they are innate, like that you just have motivation or you have willpower and you have discipline. Now, the truth is that some of this is genetic, meaning it's more environmental than it is genetic, but it is can be inherited in a way. So, for example, saw my mother working out like when I was a child. Okay, she would, things would be chaotic, and she'd be like, "Gotta get my workout in so I can be calm." And she'd be in the middle of the living room with Roberta or some sort of like, jazzercise on, and so that was sort of ingrained in me that that's what people do. Like people just they exercise. So I wasn't always someone who liked to exercise. I wasn't always someone who cared about fitness, but because of the way that I grew up, it was something that it was tangible, it was feasible for me. And so maybe you grew up in the same way, or maybe you grew up and working out was not at all in your schema. Like you did not see people working out, you did not see people eating healthy. It's much harder for those people who did not grow up in those environments to do any of these. So I want you to know that yes, it is easier to have motivation, discipline, and willpower if you grew up in an environment in which your behavior, your desired behavior was evident because it's not so foreign. You've watched people do it all the time, right? So that's how it is for me in terms of exercise. Like my mom woke up at like 5 in the morning. She would swim. When she was pregnant with my youngest sister, I saw her like going to kickboxing classes and swimming and going to the YMCA. And so it was just like normal to me that you did that. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't need motivation, willpower, and discipline, but it means that it's not foreign to my body. It's not, I will say that it's a little bit easier for someone like me who grew up with that. Now, let's translate this to something that's not, something that I'm not good at, which is let's talk about my procrastination, right? It takes a lot of motivation, willpower, and discipline for me to not procrastinate. I have to fight actively against that. Okay. So for someone who, maybe had a more orderly household, procrastination is not going to be something that they struggle with. Like they're going to get things done. It doesn't require motivation, willpower, and discipline or as much. So just know that starting out, you guys, that it's very normal if you did not grow up in an environment with your desired behavior, that these will be harder for you. The second belief that people have is that that these things are permanent. Okay. So both motivation and discipline decrease over time. I'm sorry, motivation and willpower both decrease over time. This decreases daily. Willpower decreases daily. Okay. And so does motivation. Willpower decreases much faster, and I mean quickly, much faster than motivation. Okay. Motivation you can have for like 30 days, right? That's when you hear people say, okay, I was on this plan and I did really good for like a month. And then I just couldn't do it anymore. That's because motivation waned and willpower waned. And oftentimes when it comes to fat loss, it's because people are doing things that require like crazy amounts of willpower. That means not eating any, carbs, not eating any sugar, not doing anything other than exercising for 2 hours a week or 2 hours a day. It's a lot of willpower. So if you're doing things that require a lot of willpower, your willpower is going to go down even more quickly. And then as willpower decreases, so does motivation. Okay. And that's because the ultimate goal is always discipline. It's not willpower and motivation. It's never going to be willpower and motivation. It is really hard to maintain willpower and motivation. These things decrease. I would say willpower lasts daily, and motivation is up to 30 days. After that, people they are not relying on motivation. It's what you have to do. Nobody is motivated to work their entire life, but they're disciplined enough to do it, right? People wake up every day with enough willpower to do their jobs well and enough discipline when their willpower runs out, right? But when it comes to health and fitness, they tend to let it slide. Why? Because it's not that important yet. It's not that important yet. And I understand it. When your life is really focused on living, all of your willpower and motivation is going into survival. That's understandable. And in a lot of people's mind, survival does not include health. Okay. And for a lot of people, survival does not include health. And that's why they will get up and they will go to work. They will give 120% to their job. And then when they get home and you're like, hey, exercise, eat well. Nope. Because most people use all of their discipline, willpower, and motivation for their job. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 ways that I increase my willpower. Okay, how do I increase willpower? Number 1 is I minimize the amount of things that I have to do in the day that will require willpower. So I decrease all of as many choices as possible. You guys have heard me talk about this when it comes to decision fatigue. You heard me talk about this when I was a teacher. I had severe decision fatigue because I was making 1,000 decisions a day, right? I had severe decision fatigue. So I increased my willpower, and it's not really increasing, okay? I should not mislead you. It's actually maintaining, because everybody wakes up with a certain amount of willpower every single day. So here's my willpower container. I wake up with a certain amount. Some days a little bit more than others, but it's really the same. The first thing I do to increase/maintain my willpower is I eliminate as many choices as possible. I talked about this on my last, I had a post on Instagram and TikTok. I stop making choices. If I don't need to make a decision, I don't make it, because I know just based on the way the brain works, I'm going to have to make a lot of decisions. So if I'm going to make good decisions about my health, I'm going to eliminate decisions in other areas. That means like what time I'm going to wake up, even down to what time I'm going to wake up. I just set an alarm. I don't think about it, right? What I'm going to have for breakfast, I don't think about it. I just make it, because the less choices you have to make, the more your willpower stays full. Okay, so the minute I start making a bunch of choices, that's when my willpower decreases. Okay, I start making choices, that goes away. I don't make a lot of decisions early in the morning, especially early in the morning, because as the day goes on, your willpower decreases. Okay, when it comes to my clothes, when I was a teacher, I wore the same thing almost every day. I wore black pants, a blouse, and some shoes. Fridays, I wore jeans and a t-shirt. When I was a PE teacher, I wore black yoga pants and a school t-shirt and so the same shoes, because I didn't want to make decisions. Okay. I didn't want to make as many choices. The second thing I do for my, sorry guys, I need to take a sip. To maintain my willpower is I schedule whatever I need to schedule. So if I need to schedule meal prep, I schedule it. So in my calendar, I have a schedule of my day, especially now because I work for myself. In there, it will say workout, meal prep, breakfast, nap. Yes, I schedule my naps because it's just a commitment to myself. I don't have to think about it. Okay. So add it to your schedule as an appointment in your calendar. Okay. And then I don't have to think, oh, should I work out right now? Should I not? No, it's just a thing that I have to do today. And with that schedule, I make sure that I work everything around my workout. So whenever I work out, then I schedule things around that. Client calls, filming, relationship stuff. Like when are we going on dates with my husband? I schedule it all around my workouts. Okay. And I only work out for like 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not like it's a ton of time, but I schedule it. Again, when you start wrestling with yourself, number 3, stop fighting with yourself. Okay. When you start fighting with yourself, That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy. Stop fighting with yourself. That is a lot of energy that you are wasting. Lot of willpower in the day that you are wasting, that you could be using that energy towards working out, energy towards um meal prepping. There's a thing in track and field coaching. You guys know I'm a USATF track and field coach. There's a thing we call leaking energy. Okay. It's when an athlete is doing all kinds of weird things with their arms and their knees and their feet, and they are not using all of their energy towards sprinting. So if an athlete's leaking energy, that means that they're probably running with their elbows this way. It's everything's not streamlined. They're turning over their legs with lower knees. So they're taking a bunch of steps that they don't need to. So we want to avoid leaking energy. And this is a concept that you need to implement. Sorry, not you need to. I shouldn't be telling y'all what to do, but you know what I mean. Stop leaking energy. Okay. This is a concept I applied to my whole life. Where am I leaking energy? That could be, am I spending time thinking about folks that I don't need to think about? Okay. Am I thinking about what Tom, Dick, Sally, and Harry are doing? If I am, that's too much. I'm leaking energy. Anytime you leak energy, motivation, discipline, and willpower decrease. Because it's all in the brain. It's all in the brain. So anytime I'm thinking about what so and so said at work, this man over here, this girl over here, what they're thinking about me, work, whatever you got going on over here, the more energy you put into that, the extra energy, you're leaking energy, the less discipline and motivation you have, less willpower you have. So you have to be able to manage your energy leaks. Manage your energy leaks wherever that is. TikTok, Instagram. I'm talking to myself too, you guys. Like, I'm not perfect over here, right? So all of your social media, how much time are you spending on social media? That's an energy leak. That's a time suck, right? All those things that leak your energy. Okay. So the third lie that people believe is that I have to be disciplined first, and then people think that they have to be disciplined first, and then they'll be motivated, and then they'll have willpower. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. And so why people believe this, and what happens is they go, I'm not disciplined. I'm not a disciplined person. Okay. And it stops them off right here because their belief is if I'm not disciplined, then I will not have willpower and motivation. But the truth is that if you have to create this, you have to create an environment where willpower, discipline, and motivation thrive. Okay. One of my favorite quotes is you do not behave your way, you do not feel your way into behaving, you behave your way into feeling. Okay. So, how do I feel motivated? How do I feel disciplined? Okay, that's going to be my next response. How do I feel motivated? How how do I keep my willpower, right? We talked about that a little bit. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. You do something. Okay. So, discipline, motivation, and willpower are not bad things. I love motivation and willpower because they often get you started. Okay. My clients say to me, okay, I'm super motivated. They come to me, they get on a call with me, and they're like, I'm super motivated. Sign me up. I got a lot of willpower right now. Okay. So they do the program for 60 days, right? On the 61st day, When they don't have to check in with me, they text me and they go, I feel weird. I feel weird because I didn't work out. I feel weird because I didn't prep my meals. And I'm like, good. Now you are starting to have discipline. And discipline is when you want to do it just because it's good for you. And it's no longer about how you feel. Okay. The more you do something, the more you will enjoy it. It's like cleaning. It's like, biking. It's like anything that you're new at, anything that you are a beginner at, you're going to struggle at first. But the more you do it, the more you like it. That's just what the studies say. The more you do it, the more you like it. So the way to start to develop your discipline is to do it. You are not going to feel your way into doing it. You will not feel motivated all the time, and you will not feel disciplined all the time, or you will not feel willpower all the time. But you will start to feel like you enjoy it if you keep doing it. So, my challenge for people is usually this. Number one, do something very small, like walk every day for 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, this is just like a beginner. Every single day. Oh my gosh, you want me to work out every single day? How could you? First of all, walking is not like, I'm sorry, but it's like, okay. People used to walk 10,000 steps, like 5 miles every single day. Like, you walking is not a big, you should be moving. You're a Homo sapien. Like, that's what we used to do. Walk every day for 60 minutes. Why? Because you're just creating a habit. Creating a habit will increase motivation, increase discipline, increase willpower. When you create a habit, you increase motivation, you increase discipline, you increase willpower. So walk 30 minutes every single day. Here's the second thing. You guys know what you're eating or what you're drinking. Oftentimes with my clients, it's actually alcohol. I'm like, cut out alcohol for 30 days. And of course, people who claim to not have a problem with alcohol will then throw a fit. And I'm like, the fact that you're very angry that I'm asking you to cut out alcohol is problematic. But that's neither here nor there. No judgment. Just know that if I'm getting angry about something, I have an emotional attachment to it. So what's your emotional attachment to alcohol? So the second thing they do is they cut alcohol. Why? Alcohol is a downer. It's depressive, which means that you're going to have less motivation, less serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone. When you have a feel-good hormone, you tend to want to do things. So cut alcohol, because with more alcohol, as alcohol increases, motivation decreases, willpower decreases, discipline decreases, and serotonin decreases. And serotonin is that feeling is like, yeah, I feel good. I want to do something. I want to take care of myself. That serotonin is what people are missing when they are struggling with depression. You need to keep as much of that as possible if you want your willpower and discipline, right? So I always have people cut alcohol. And of course, they feel better, they feel lighter, they feel stronger, they feel healthier, blah, 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 blah. The whole 9 yards. Okay. And then the last thing is get sleep. Okay. Until you are disciplined, you will be relying on your motivation and willpower. And when you do not have sleep, you're not motivated and you do not have willpower. So get sleep. I know my teacher skills have decreased because this writing is atrocious. When you do not get enough sleep, your brain cannot, you are automatically decision fatigued. So yeah, right. Go to the gym. Yeah, right. Make a good decision. Your brain's like shot when you get rest, when you don't get enough rest. Okay, we know this because we know that they've done studies on fighters, and their just performance decreases when they do not get enough sleep. Imagine you're not an elite athlete, and you're trying to do something that's for you. You don't even love working out. They love fighting. They love the ring. And they have to, even their discipline, even their performance decreases. So make sure that you are getting enough sleep. So that's my little chat on motivation, discipline, and willpower. Just know that nobody walks around with like this full cup of willpower and motivation every single day. And that as you discipline yourself to do something, your motivation and your willpower for that thing stays a little bit longer. And remember that you do not feel your way into behaving, you behave your way into feeling good about exercise and eating well and training your body. All right, you guys, that's it for my little training. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have to get my eyebrows waxed, and I was supposed to walk the dog at 4 o'clock. So I'm behind. But anyway, it was great seeing you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Ending my stream.